Cyberpunk 2077 mods are getting really good again. Modders are adding in some major features into the game, including several of which I've been waiting for since release. And we are finally starting to get some good custom quest mods, some of which will even include your favorite partner. And I know my audience, with some of the mods I'm going to show you in this video, you could even develop totally new romance partners. But while we are overhauling romance in Cyberpunk 2077, I realize this may have some unintended side effects. So first, we're going to have to protect your search history. And you can do that with ease with today's video sponsor, Opera GX. If you're gaming, you should be using this browser. It has a built-in VPN to conceal all of those sketchy searches, and GX Control makes it so those 40 open tabs don't literally use all of your RAM. And Opera GX just got the official Cyberpunk 2077 hub, a one-stop shop for all of the recent Cyberpunk 2077 news and streams so you don't miss out on the surprise updates, and this includes some of the game's epic music, but also practical features, a fully interactive map of Night City as a quick reference, a really handy build planner for your next playthrough, and even the Cyberpunk 2077 game booklet. But Opera GX also has mods in more ways than one. You can now mod your browser to completely change its look and feel. Tons of mods are available right now, including a Cyberpunk 2077 mod, which is even how you gain access to this hub. This mod already has 1.5 million installs, partly because it makes things sound way better. You'll get toggleable background music, new sounds when typing or managing tabs, and there's a ton of options for visual customization. Your browser theme will instantly transform, and you even have a live wallpaper that you can freely edit to match your time of day. Yet these genuinely embrace the personal aspects of modding, allowing you to fine-tune details to your preferences. And Opera GX is making this switch incredibly easy. It is a quick import tool, so you can have everything, browsing history, bookmarks, and even cookies moved over to Chrome almost instantly. And every single Chrome extension is compatible with Opera GX. So stop waiting and upgrade to the browser made for gamers today just by clicking on my link in the video description or the pinned comment below. Thanks again to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. But looking back at Cyberpunk 2077, let's make you some new friends, starting with the Bugbear romance mod. This one implements a completely new romance partner from one of the existing characters in Cyberpunk, and all of this is done in a super nice and immersive way. You'll trigger this one just as you're doing the typical gig Getting Warmer for Wakako. This is just a typical vanilla gig, and during this you're tasked with saving Bugbear, a high-level netrunner from some tiger claws. And even during the vanilla quest, things do get fairly intimate here. You are quite literally saving Bugbear from death and do carry her out of that location yourself. And after finishing the gig, this mod will trigger. All of a sudden, you're going to get this brand new text from Bugbear. She'll basically give you some updates on what's going on with her, and V can respond to basically say that, yeah, you should be cautious with Wakako. Sure, she saved you, but you don't know exactly what she wants you for in the first place. And one of the nice aspects of this mod is it is optional. You have to choose to pursue this relationship, so you do have dialogue options to not engage and not help out Bugbear if you don't want to. And a short while after that initial interaction, Bugbear will text you again, now with a totally new quest and some tasks to do. Basically, she wants you to sneak into Wakako's office and relay some information back to her in order to help escape Wakako. And it's at this point that the flirting really starts. With Bugbear free, you can invite them to stay with you, although they're going to opt to stay somewhere else instead. And more so than most of the other romance mods out there, this one is really just you dating Bugbear as you get to the meat and potatoes of this mod. You two are going to text each other back and forth on a near daily basis. You can visit her at her apartment, and you even have several opportunities over the course of this mod to meet up with one another and get up to all kinds of things. Initially, you'll just go on a simple dinner date with Bugbear, who isn't able to speak. This is technically just because this character never had voice acting in Cyberpunk 2077. In that initial gig, she doesn't actually speak at any point. But with this mod, there is a lore explanation as to why Bugbear is a mute, and honestly, I don't hate it. The super advanced mute netrunner does kind of work in a weird way. And you still can communicate freely with Bugbear as she does message you and you can respond verbally. This reusing several of these voice lines from other parts of the game, but honestly, it works pretty well. Bugbear kind of has this cute, terminally online persona here, definitely going for adorable vibes, which perhaps I'm getting a little too deep here, but honestly, I feel like a lot of you watching right now will enjoy the persona of this romanceable character. I think quite a few of you are going to really like this mod, and you can develop this into a proper romance opportunity as you get deeper and deeper into Bugbear. And even more than that, this mod is pretty surprising with its length. You have almost as much interaction with Bugbear as you would with some of the other romance partners like Panam or Judy, at least when it comes to the actual romance parts of those interactions. And it's a really solid one to add into the game as an immersive and new romance option. It's definitely not just a one-night stand, and you do have extensive interactions with this character. But if Panam Palmer already has your heart, now you can actually prove it to her. The Kidnapping of Panam is a brand new quest mod for Cyberpunk 2077. You'll get a text that Panam has been kidnapped, and you can see a photo of her tied up. This triggers your hunt. You respond to this text and will embark on a journey to rescue Panam Palmer. The quest will take you to a few locations, and a lot of the interactions during this are very fun. You show up to Panam's last known location and get this cool mini interrogation scene with a Maelstrom ganger, but from there you can loot a custom audio recording of them discussing the kidnapping. There's going to be some new custom voice work added into the game, and I think it sounds pretty good.
A nomad girl, she's just a bait. V's the real prize. When she comes sniffing around, we'll snap the trap shut.
And the implementation of this one overall is pretty immersive. Almost immediately, you'll reach out to and involve Mitch, asking him initially if he knows where Panam went right after she goes missing, but then having Mitch help you rescue her with another pretty cool drone scouting sequence of the enemy base where you have to rescue Panam. And a really nice part of this mod is these fights are phenomenal. You'll have some pretty large scale and intense battles. This giant ganger base was a ton of fun to infiltrate, and if you're playing on higher difficulties, you'll definitely have to take your time here and really strategize how you'll get in and out. And it'll even end off with a nice heartfelt moment, but overall I just found this mod to be a ton of fun. You have a pretty believable cyberpunk story involving the existing characters, as well as a ton of custom quest content added for this one to make it super well implemented into the game. But if all of that just sounds like a lot of work and what you're really after is just some more intimacy with your partner, you're gonna need the mod or hangout romances. This will add in a repeatable option to romance your partner while hanging out at your apartment. It's pretty simple, just cuddle up with them and then shower together, and then a new option to repeat the past romance scene will appear once again, which is pretty handy because otherwise this romance scene is just a one-time deal if you're not using this mod. And if even still, the idea of leaving your partner behind is just too much for you, you can also grab Companions of Night City. This lets you ask your romance partner to simply follow you around. It's pretty basic in what they can do, as they're really just going to follow you, help you in combat, and have a dialogue line here and there. But if you're just after more time together with that favorite character in Cyberpunk, this really is one of the best options right now. And quite a bit of the time, during quite a few of those spooky or scary gigs, it is just kind of nice to have somebody else with you helping you out in combat. Although if you do want that on a bit of a larger scale and are looking for some more of that custom quest content, another really great option from the exact same mod author is the High Stakes quest. This is a super fun heist quest brought to you by Regina Jones. Basically, Arasaka is moving something valuable in a convoy. Regina alerts us to this, and from there, you're able to invite Panam as well as several other of the Aldecados to help with this heist. Similar to the first quest, this one has a ton of custom content to make it work. Several characters get completely new voice lines thanks to AI, and it really elevates this mod overall.
V, I've got a feeling this is going to be one of those conversations where you ask for the impossible.
Hey guys, thank you for coming. We need to ambush Arasaka's convoy. Cass, we need to find something big to close the road.
Oh, I've got an idea.
They're planning to present a new product behind closed doors to a high-profile customer, alongside similar offerings from Militech and Lazarus.
An assault on Arasaka is just not another convoy to jack.
Yeah, and?
It's Arasaka. I'll understand if you'd rather not.
Will do, boss. Thanks.
With a lot of these interactions, it just feels like you're actually interacting with these characters again. You could really see how far some of this technology has come to sound this good. As well as just like the other quest mod, this quest also is a lot of fun to do. You're going to have plenty of difficult combat during the heist itself as you're taking down a bunch of high-level Arasaka soldiers, but then you're going to have an entire 10-minute segment where you have to get this giant armored car all the way across Night City. 10 minutes is a good amount of time, but you're going to have people chasing you, you're driving a very slow and bulky vehicle, and there will be obstacles, and this one definitely can be a challenge. If you make just a few mistakes, you might end up failing and having to redo it. But for me, that really just upped the ante and made this entire drive a lot more fun and engaging. But overall, both of these custom quests were a blast to play, and I would highly recommend them to anyone playing Cyberpunk right right now, I feel like with this heist quest in particular, it feels like the type of content that could work really well going forward, almost indefinitely. Night City definitely has more stories to be told, and I feel like these heist-themed gigs where you can invite a few familiar characters and get some additional dialogue using AI is one of those templates that could continuously work in the future. There's quite a few heists and quite a few other characters I'd love to see involved in these. Both of these custom quest mods are relatively new and were only just released for this game, so I'm hoping we're just going to see more of this type of content over the course of 2025. And if we eventually do see the release of custom mod tools, this type of content will get a massive upgrade. But beyond all of that, we've also been getting quite a few mods that just resolve some of the major complaints or issues I've had with Cyberpunk 2077. Some of those little nitpicks that are gradually being removed by modders. Steal Vehicles is a really cool mod that will let you take any vehicle from the streets of Night City and just add it to your garage by driving there. It's super simple, but just jump in a vehicle that you see on the street, then drive over to one of your apartments, typically right outside that apartment, and then the vehicle will just be yours and added to your garage. Sometimes the color won't perfectly match, this is just due to it being a difference between an NPC vehicle and a player garage vehicle, but otherwise this is one of those features that I've wanted since release and it works perfectly here. Although obviously this one isn't particularly well balanced. If anything in the future, having some kind of fee to add a vehicle to your garage would probably make it a lot more fair. And vehicle mods overall are a category getting a ton of attention as of late, and a perfect add-on to this is Nova Traffic. This will integrate all of those custom vehicles that you downloaded into the existing traffic of Night City. So now, driving around, you'll just organically stumble upon all of those epic cars driving all over. And yeah, these two mods even work together, which makes it a really nice combination. So you could download a boatload of custom vehicle mods, have all of that traffic get overhauled and transformed. I honestly am not using a ton of mods here, that's why you're seeing some of these same vehicles pop up over and over. But then as you see a vehicle you love, simply hop in it, drive back to your garage, and congrats, now you have that vehicle yourself. And this Nova Traffic mod is incredibly configurable, so if there's certain vehicles you don't want to see in traffic, you can also control things that way. But then we also have Vendors XL. This is a framework mod that will implement the functionality for other authors to add in custom vendors into the world. So for example, you can get something like this high-tier quick hack shop that was added right in Mega Building H10. Here, I can gain even easier access to all of the major quick hacks in the game, and this is one of those mods that I really hope more mod authors start embracing going forward to create a more immersive Night City. You can see it in practice here with the prototype thermal longsword. This is a brand new custom weapon for Cyberpunk. A lot of the time when using custom weapons or armor, you just add them to your inventory using the console. But now with Vendors XL, instead this author could just add a nice vendor into one of the local markets instead, and you could walk up and buy the sword in a far more immersive and organic way. The sword is also just pretty cool in its own right, and does mesh exceptionally well with the recently released Cyber Samurai armor. This is an absolutely gorgeous custom armor for Cyberpunk 2077. It's broken up into a wide variety of pieces, so it's super modular. You can use different combinations of this armor if you want to, as well as there's going to be a variety of colors for each of those major pieces. And honestly for me, this is one of the coolest armor mods to ever release for Cyberpunk 2077. But with that said, those are 10 incredible mods you could download for Cyberpunk 2077 right now, and check out this video if you need even more mods to download.